What's up, everybody, and welcome to Read the Bible with me. I'm Stan Jr., and today we're looking at Joshua chapter 9. Yes, Joshua chapter 9. If you're new here, go ahead and click subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification bell. You're going to want to do that because we post a new video every single day. We do one chapter out of the Bible every day. We try to see what God wants to say to us through that. All right. And if you're a Bible Club member, please like this video and leave a comment below. I'd love to make sure and see that you guys are reading along with everybody else. All right. So, chapter 9 of the book of Joshua, let's look at it. It says, as soon as all the kings who were beyond the Jordan in the hill country and in the lowland, all along the coast of the great sea toward Lebanon, the Hittites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites heard of this. And what they heard of was, they gathered together as one to fight against Joshua and Israel. They heard of, Jericho falling, Ai, the Canaanites, their wars. They're hearing that they have taken territory and the Lord is helping them. But when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard that Joshua had done what Joshua had done to Jericho and to Ai, they on their part acted with cunning and went and made ready provisions and took worn out sacks for their donkeys and wineskins and worn out and torn and mended with worn out patched sandals and on their feet and worn out clothes, and all of their provisions were dry and crumbly. And they went to Joshua in the camp of Gilgal and said to him and to the men of Israel, we have come from a distant country. So now we make a covenant with us. But the men of Israel said to the Hivites, perhaps you live among us. Then how can we make a covenant with you? They said to Joshua, we are your servants. And Joshua said to them, who are you and where do you come from? They said to him, from a very distant country your servants have come because of the name of the Lord your God. For we have heard a report of him and all that he did in Egypt and all that he did to the two kings of the Amorites who were beyond the Jordan, to Sihon, the king of Heshbon, and to Og, the king of Bashan, who lived in Ashtaroth. So our elders and all the inhabitants of our country said to us, take provisions in your hand for the journey and go to meet them to say to them, we are your servants. Come now, make a covenant with us. Here is our bread. It was still warm when we took it from our houses as our food for the journey on the day we set out to come to you, but now behold, it is dry and crumbly. These wineskins were new when we filled them, and behold, they have burst. These garments and sandals of ours are worn out from a very long journey. So the men took some of their provisions, but did not ask counsel from the Lord. That's the biggest statement in this chapter. They did not ask counsel from God. You see what I'm saying? And so it's important to understand that during big moments in our life, we need to ask counsel from God. The Gibeonites didn't ask counsel from God, so you're going to see what happens to them. And the children of Israel didn't ask counsel from God. All these are people talking to one another. It is important when we come to major situations in life to say, I need to pray about it. Give me a day to pray about it. Give me a minute to pray about it. Give me a week to pray about it. Let me pray about this. Do not be anxious for anything. Allow God to talk to you and counsel you on this thing. All right, and so he says, so the men took some of their provisions, but they did not ask counsel from the Lord. And Joshua made peace with them and made a covenant with them to let them live. And the leaders of the congregation, swore to them. At the end of the 3 days after they had made a covenant with them, they heard that they were their neighbors and that they lived among them. And the people of Israel set out and reached their cities, and on the third day, now the cities were Gibeon, Shephirah, Beeroth, and Kiriath Jearim. But the people of Israel did not attack them, because the leaders of the congregation had sworn to them by the Lord, the God of Israel, Then all the congregation murmured against the leaders. But all the leaders said to the congregation, "We have sworn to them by the Lord, the God of Israel, and now we may not touch them. This we will do to them. They let them live, lest wrath be upon us because of the oath we swore to them." And the leaders said to them, "Let them live." So they became cutters of wood and drawers of water for all the congregation, just as the leaders had said to them. Joshua summoned them, and he said to them, "Why did you deceive us, saying, 'We are very far from you,' when you dwell among us? Now therefore, you are cursed, and some of you shall never be anything but servants, cutters of wood and drawers of water for the house of my God." They answered Joshua, "Because it was told to your servants for a certainty that the Lord your God has commanded his servant Moses to give you all the land and to destroy all the inhabitants of the land from before you. So we fear greatly for our lives because of you and did this thing. And now, behold, we are in your hand. Whatever seems good and right in your sight to do with us, do it." So he did this to them and delivered them out of the hand of the people of Israel. And they did not kill them. But Joshua made them that day cutters of wood and drawers of water for the congregation and for the altar of the Lord to this day in the place that he should choose. And so, because no one sought the counsel, no one got a good deal. And also, at least the Gibeonites, they were cunning, and they would, if the children of Israel would have sought counsel from God, they wouldn't have been tricked by the Gibeonites. So it's another way to avoid being deceived by people, is asking God for discernment. When you see or meet a new person, ask the Lord for discernment. Is this person really honest and want to be, friends with you, or do they have ulterior motives? It's very important to seek the counsel of God. But if you just go off your own intuition or your gut feeling, that doesn't always work out. And so, my prayer for you today is, for us today, that we get out of this, is that we seek the counsel of God before we make huge decisions. All right? That was Joshua chapter 9. Thank you for helping me send Bibles to persecuted Christians, to people that cannot get them. If you're helping me do that, that means you've clicked the link in the description before and you've committed $10 a year. Please, a month. Please help me commit $10 a month for this ministry so that we can give more Bibles each month. It's a ministry we give to called Voices of Martyrs, and I would like to give more Bibles each month. And so if you go to the description link, you can click that link and you can become a patron. Even if you give $1 or $5, pray about raising it to $10 this year. I really appreciate that, so that we can do more for the kingdom. All right. God bless you. Thank you for reading with me this morning, and I will see you when I see you. We'll be reading chapter 10 of the book of Joshua. God bless you. Peace.